Hi, and welcome to Ivy English. I'm Karen.
And I'm Wesley.
Today is July 18th, and we're on page 52 in your magazines. Today we have a guided composition exercise for you. And this title really struck me because I have had a similar experience in my own life. Our title is Missing Meals, Dealing with Dorm Food Thieves.
好，那我们可以看到这个中文标题呢是宿舍冰箱食物保卫战。yeah, 那刚刚这 Karen 老师他的这重音大家有注意到 missing meals 两个都有重音，然后 dorm food thieves 就是 dorm food 是一个最重要的先讲，所以呢这个重音在 dorm 上面，然后呢这个 thieves 是最后才讲的，所以它这个重音最低。
You know, you all can't see this huge smile on my face.
Yeah,
Because not that many people know this.
Yeah, 但是我希望，因为 Karen 常常会这样解释哈，我希望大家都有学到，因为这其实蛮重要，这个跟中文的那个语调很像。你万一这个英文你这个重音弄错了，别人可能还是听得懂，可是你念对的话，他们听起来会很舒服。
Yeah, exactly. And I thought, oh my God, you got it right.
Yeah.
All right, here are the instructions.
好，那提示部分他说，假设你是住校生，那某天在宿舍布告栏上看到一则公告，那请你以公告中所提及的现象为题，那写一篇英文作文，文长至少120个单词。那第一段说明一下造成这种情况的可能原因，那第二段说明一下这种事情如果发生在你身上，你会如何处理。
Next is a copy of the notice. It says, Dear all, please do not eat food that does not belong to you.Let's respect each other's belongings and show consideration for others. Thank you.
好，那我们看到他说 Dear all， 那这个蛮好用的，就是当你对你一封信或者是一个告示是要跟很多人讲的时候呢，你就可以用 Dear all。 然后呢 Please 请 do not eat food， 不要吃食物，什么样的食物呢？ Food that does not belong to you.
When you hear that, you think,What's wrong with you? Everybody should know that, right?
Yeah.
But obviously, some people have been doing exactly this.
所以也许一开始，我干嘛去吃别人的食物呢？但其实真的是有这样的事情，尤其在宿舍里面。然后他接下来他讲说 Let's respect each other's belongings， 让我们尊重彼此的这个财产或者属于彼此的东西。 belongings 就是属于某一个人的东西。那像例如说在火车上面，常常他会提醒你下车的时候呢，不要忘了你的随身物品。那个随身物品在英文里面也是用 belongings 这个字。所以这里呢他说让我们尊重彼此的 belongings， 然后呢我们要 show consideration for others， 让我们表示我们尊重别人的感受。所以 consideration 就是体贴或者是尊重，或者是尊重别人的想法，或者能够感同身受那种感觉。所以 show consideration for others 就是我们要替别人着想，我们要体会他们的感觉。
Next, we have a few questions we can ask ourselves to kind of get us thinking about how we're going to write our essay. We have one W and one H, namely what and how. The first one is what. What situation does the notice describe?
好，所以这一个 notice 它描述的是什么样的一个情况啊？什么样的一个状况呢？
And another what. What could have led to this situation?
Could have 是现在对于过去的猜测，所以我们从现在推测是什么原因使得这件事情发生，让他必须贴这样的一个告示呢？
And finally, how? How can I deal with this situation?
那我要怎么样处理或者面对这个状况？ Deal with 是处理或者面对的意思。
This makes me think of a time at Princeton. I had a bunch of housemates and people kept stuff in the refrigerator. I told one part of the story in a previous program, but another part of it was people's expensive food kept disappearing. It was ice cream and meat and things like that. Expensive food. And one day somebody got up at 2 a.m. and found somebody who was not a housemate cooking a steak in the kitchen. It was their steak.
Wow. 所以这 Karen 老师以前在念 Princeton 的时候就发生过类似的事情，而且大家掉的食物都是很贵的食物，
Yeah.
像那个牛排啦，或者这种高级冰淇淋啊等等的就有人有一次半夜2点起来，就发现另外一个不是住在一起的，不是住在这个宿舍的人在那里这个煎牛排啊。那这个
It was their steak.
Yeah， 所以而且煎的是别人的牛排啊，所以这个很厉害。
Okay, next is our outline.
好，大纲部分第一段我们可以说很多住校生都遇过冰箱食物消失的状况。那这可能是因为有人不小心拿错食物，那也有可能呢是因为有人受不了饥饿或者受不了食物的诱惑而偷吃食物。 那第二段呢，我们可以讲到如果是我遇到这种状况的话呢，我会依发生的频率而采取不同的做法，这个很明智。因为他说如果只发生一次的话，那可能真是拿错了，无心之过。而且呢，我会避免的话，我就在食物上面标好名字，这是谁谁谁的东西。但如果说发生很多次的话，那我会更积极的去处理这个事情，而且我会请宿舍管理员展开调查。
All right, next we have sort of a mind map of the content of this essay. In the middle, we have a big arrow that says eating others' food without permission.
好，那就是吃别人的食物，然后呢，各位注意这个语块without permission 就是未经允许，没有别人的允许，你就吃了别人的食物了。
Branching off to the left, we have a lot of things to try and explain about this. So it may have happened, for example, by accident.By
accident 就是意外的发生了。
Now, what kind of accident? Mistake others' food for their own.
好，这里有一个很棒的语块，大家学起来。Mistake A for B 就是把 A 错当成 B， 所以这里把 A 就是 others' food 别人的食物，把它错当成为 their own， 错当成为他们自己的食物，所以认错食物了。例如说，可能两个人买的牛奶都同一个牌子，他可能就拿错了。
All right, so that's if it happens by accident. On the other hand, it may have happened on purpose. And in that case, maybe somebody can't resist hunger.
好，那刚刚讲的这个弄错了，这可能是意外。但如果说是 on purpose， 如果是故意或者蓄意的就吃别人的食物，偷别人的食物的话，那可能的原因就是 can't resist hunger， 他没有办法抵抗他的饥饿。resist hunger 就抵抗饥饿。
Okay, and that can really happen. You're just so hungry, you really can't care about it. But what you should do in that case is the next day you should say, I'm so sorry, I don't know whose food I ate, but I was so hungry, I just had to have some food.
Yeah.
If you explained it to everybody, I think that would be a more acceptable way of dealing with it.Yeah,
你如果是真的半夜饿得不得了，把人家食物吃了，那你至少可以跟大家讲说我昨天晚上太饿了，不知道把谁的食物吃掉了。那当然你也不能一天到晚这样子你一天到晚这样子的话，别人还是会很生气你不能你肚子饿就去吃别人的东西。
Exactly.
而且呢，你要想办法 make up 例如说对我昨天晚上这个太饿了，把你的东西吃掉了。好，那说对不起之后，你应该去买一样的东西回来还人家。
Yeah, put a new carton of milk in the fridge.
Yeah, 或者是下一次有机会就请人家什么，总之你要回报。
That's right. Okay, and way to the right, we have a little square. At the top it says resolution.
好，那就是解决的办法，动词是 resolve, R-E-S-O-L-V-E.
And there are two suggestions here. The first one is label food with names.
好，那这也是一样，各位注意这语块 label A with B 就是用 B 去标示 A。然后呢，这个 with 就是当然就是用什么用 names 用你的名字来标示，就是写上名字的意思。
And the second suggestion is inform dorm management about the problem.
好，那这里也是有一个语块，所以我们这里看到好多个语块，而且都是跟 A、B 有关的语块。我们刚看到 mistake A for B， 然后看到 label A with B。在这里呢是 inform A about B， 就是告知 A 关于 B 这件事情。所以这地方这个 A 是怎么样 ？dorm management。dorm management 就是宿舍管理单位，所以你告知、通知 inform 这个宿舍管理单位。通知他们什么事情呢 ？About the problem， 关于这个问题，跟他们讲。
And here is our model composition. Dorm life offers a unique set of experiences, with some more pleasant than others. A common frustration residents face is discovering their food has gone missing from the shared refrigerator. The phenomenon can happen for a few reasons. Someone might grab the wrong container in a rush, mistaking it for their own.An empty stomach can also make someone forget the rules, especially when there's a tasty snack nearby. My response to this issue would depend on how often it occurs. If it's a one-time incident, I'll forget about it as a simple mistake. To prevent future confusion, I would also start labeling my food with my name. However, if it happens repeatedly, I take a more active approach by demanding an investigation by the dorm's management team.This might discourage whoever is taking food that doesn't belong to them. By openly addressing the missing food problem, we can bring it to everyone's attention and hopefully avoid similar circumstances in the future. Back to the beginning. Dorm life offers a unique set of experiences, with some more pleasant than others.
好，那 dorm life 就是宿舍生活，住校生活。 offers 它提供了一个 unique set of experiences， 它提供了独特的一套或者独特的一些经验。那 experience 在这里是一个一个的经验，所以它是可以数的，因为它有 set of experience 就是一套一些的经验。然后呢 with 就是随附的状况，这些独特的经验有什么随附状况呢？它的随附状况就是 some 就是 some experiences， 它会 more pleasant than 会比什么比起来会更加的令人愉快，或者感觉会舒畅一点，跟 others 跟 other experiences 比起来，这个地方也就是说有的经验会比较正向一点，有的经验就没有那么正向。
From my own experience, one of the more pleasant kinds of experiences was there was often someone around to talk to in the common room. That was nice.
Yeah, 所以这个住校有一个好处就是你四周总是有人，你可以跟他们聊天什么的。那我个人的这个住校经验啊，是这个很好的经验，除了交了几个很好的朋友之外，另外一个就是常常有东西可以吃。
Really?
对，因为我觉得这是我从他们学到，就是我那时候跟我同宿舍人都很慷慨。Yeah, 所以他们吃东西就会他们甚至于泡面泡了一个面，他还会分大家吃。
Oh, that was so sweet.
那么一点点的面啊，他会 offer 要不要吃，我们大家都不用，但是有时候你实在很饿，就跟他说好，我要来一点啊，他就真的给你一点，那蛮有趣的呀。还有饼干啊什么的呀。
You're trained in this in your culture.
Yeah.
We have it less in our culture. It happens. But I think people in Chinese culture are trained to do this.
可能是在有文化有差异。像我们最慷慨那一个同学，他每次都说好吃的东西一个人吃没有意思。
So he even makes you feel good about taking some food
Yeah,
from
it's like thank you for sharing this food with me and making it more delicious.
Yeah. Some of the less pleasant experiences might be loud music when you're trying to study.
Yeah, 那如果住宿舍负面的经验就是你想要读书的时候呢，你的室友在听音乐，而且那个声音放得很大声。
Or something that my students often complain about, talking really loud on the phone with their new boyfriend.
Yeah, 或者是电话讲电话声音太大，那也会吵到别人，主要还是声音的问题。Yeah.
Right. A common frustration residents face is discovering their food has gone missing from the shared refrigerator. Now, this struck me as British. I'm guessing the writer? I don't know if they are British.Because gone missing, although we can say it in American English, I hear it mostly from my British friends.
所以这 go missing 或者是 gone missing 这个是比较常在英式英文里面讲到。
Right. If it were me, I would say disappeared. Discovering that their food has disappeared from the shared refrigerator. That's what I would say. As soon as I hear gone missing, I have pictures in my mind of my British friends.
所以这个那美式英文大概会怎么说呢？当然这不是绝对的，但像 Karen 老师说，如果是他不会讲 gone missing， 他会说 disappear， 用 disappear 这个是消失了来表达这个意思。所以这个地方他讲到说 a common frustration， 一个很常见的 frustration 这个字啊，它可以用来表示令人感到挫折的事情，所以这个时候它是可以 individuate， 它可以一个一个独立来看的，所以这里是可以数的 a common frustration。那有没有可能是复数？有可能啊，例如如果你运气不好的话，你就会做到 a job with many frustrations。你做的工作呢，一天到晚让你觉得很挫折，那碰到这种工作呢，还是想办法先换一个好了。
But you can also treat it, as you were saying, as a 集合名词. For example, I'm feeling incredible frustration at this moment.
但是 frustration 也可以是一个不可数的，像那感觉是一种现在的情绪那种感觉，所以我现在觉得很挫折，这个时候是 frustration， 就是不可数的。所以这里讲到说 a common frustration， 然后呢 that residents face， 那个 that 是受格的关系代名词，所以省略了。所以这个 residents 就是住在宿舍的人，也就是宿舍的居民，他们所 face 面对的一个常见的令人感到挫折的事情是什么呢？是 discovering， 注意这个 is 后面用的补语，用一个动名词当补语，是发现说他们的食物 has gone missing， 就不见了。from 什么什么 has gone missing from 哪里，就是说从哪里不见了，所以他们的食物从哪里不见了呢？从 the shared refrigerator， shared 就是共用的，那各位注意它是被动的，因为它是被共用的，所以这个共用的冰箱就是 the shared refrigerator， 就食物本来在里面，结果不见了，那这个是让人很挫折的一种经验。
The phenomenon can happen for a few reasons.
那这样的一种现象可以发生或者可能发生是 for a few reasons， 有几个理由，所以有几个原因可能会发生这样的现象。
Right， 就是这背后可能是有一些不同的原因。
Yeah.
Someone might grab the wrong container in a rush, mistaking it for their own.
好，那某个人呢可能会 grab 这个字呢，它是突然攫取，去突然抓的意思 ，to seize suddenly。所以这个地方为什么用 grab？ 因为 很搭配后面那个 in a rush， 就他匆忙之间，所以他匆忙之间呢，他连好好拿都不行，他就一手就随手就抓起来了。所以这 grab 有这种感觉，就匆忙之间随手抓起来了。所以某人的 might 是表示推测，可能有一个人随手之间匆忙之间就随手抓起来，抓了什么东西 ？The wrong container， 那个错的那个容器，因为你食物大家都放在容器里面，所以他可能匆忙之间就抓错了。尤其你如果容器很像的话，更可能弄错。
Make sure you learn this word container. We use it for lots of things. And if you don't know how to describe something that's holding something else, you can just use container. It's very useful.
Container 这个是很有用，就是任何一种容器都可以是 container， 里面有放东西的东西，里面有放东西的东西都叫做 container。然后呢，mistaking it for their own， 这我们刚看过这样的用法了，就是把这个 it， 就是他所拿的这个东西呢，把它错当成为是 their own， 他们自己的东西。
An empty stomach can also make someone forget the rules, especially when there's a tasty snack nearby.
好，那 an empty stomach 就是一个空的肚子，也就是肚子饿，它也可能会 make someone forget， 让某人忘掉 the rules， 规定就是怎么样，你不能乱拿人家东西嘛。那 especially when， 尤其是当怎么样 there's a tasty， 一个很美味的 snack 点心 nearby， 就是附近，就是你如果附近有那种很美味的点心，你可能会受到诱惑。例如说你打开冰箱，忽然发现哎呦那个是我最喜欢吃的啊，那受到诱惑了。那这里各位还要注意到中文跟英文习惯不一样，中文这个地方不会用一个饿的肚子来当主词。对，但中文可能说另外你如果肚子饿的话，所以中文会有人当主词，可是英文可以用一个饿的肚子来当主词。
This reminds me of a time I learned a very fancy Chinese word for this meaning. 消腹.
Wow, it is really fancy.
I know. I was reading a newspaper article. I thought, what a fancy way to say you're hungry. 就是消腹来处理某一件事情。
中文叫做消腹从公，那个消啊就是木字边，然后另外是号码的号的左边，所以是消腹就是肚子，那从是从事，公是公务，消腹从公。好，那其实我听到这个时候，这是很好的一个类似的情况，就是有些人啊，他写英文的时候喜欢用很难的字。
Right.
那就是 native speaker 看到那样子的字，可能就像我们大部分人听到这个消腹从公这种感觉。
What are you talking about?
你在讲什么？就是我们可能听到都不知道什么，知道看到可能可以猜，但是我想那个消那个字，大部分的人看到可能念不出来啊。所以各位，你写英文的时候用太难的字，你的 GRE 里面背出来的字啊，那可能一般的这个 native speaker 读起来就是这种感觉。
Right, so use that for an example. When your English is getting really fancy, a lot of students are encouraged to use all of these words that you've memorized, and that will impress the teachers who are marking your composition. But when they see 消腹从公, they're going to go, what?
Yeah, 那有点过头了。
Yeah. Okay, next paragraph. My response to this issue would depend on how often it occurs.
我对于这个问题的回应或者反应呢 would， 因为这是假设的情况，所以用 would。Depend on 就是视什么而定呢 ？How often it occurs， 它发生的频率有多么的这个 often。
If it's a one-time incident, I'll forget about it as a simple mistake.
好，如果这是一次性的 one time 的一个事件 incident， 那 I'll forget about it， 我就忘了这件事情。好 as 就把它当做一个 simple mistake， 就是很单纯的一个失误。
Now, you say you'll forget about it, but when it happens again, you found out that you didn't forget about it.
Yeah.
在记账。
Yeah, 所以这个其实如果在常常发生，你还是会记得的。Yeah.
To prevent future confusion, I would also start labeling my food with my name.
好，那下面这个语块也很好用To prevent future confusion 就是避免未来混淆。
And this is often a euphemism.
那这个是常常是一个用来把话不要讲那么大就是稍微美化一下，
不要那么满，
不要话讲那么满。所以为了避免未来再有类似的这个混淆，就弄错拿错东西，为了避免呢，我会开始怎么样把我的食物用我的名字来做标签，就是会写上我的名字。
However, if it happens repeatedly, I'd take a more active approach by demanding an investigation by the dorm's management team.
但是如果它 repeatedly 就是一再重复，所以它如果一再重复发生的话，那我就会 take a more active approach， 我就会采取一个更积极的方式。 active 是积极，那 approach 的方式怎么样积极的方式呢？ by 就是借由，我会 demanding 我会要求一个 investigation， 我会要求调查。谁来调查呢？第二个 by 就是由行为者，谁来调查？由这个 the dorms 这个宿舍的 management team 就是管理团队来调查，也就是我希望这个宿舍管理单位要介入调查。
This might discourage whoever is taking food that doesn't belong to them.
那这个可能可以 discourage 在这里就是阻止或者劝阻， 可以阻止或劝阻 whoever 不管是谁 is taking food 不管是谁他在拿食物，那这个食物是怎么样 that doesn't belong to them 不属于他们的食物，所以可以劝阻他们。这个 discourage 就让他没有这个勇气，也就是劝阻的意思。
By openly addressing the missing food problem, we can bring it to everyone's attention and hopefully avoid similar circumstances in the future.
By 就是透过 openly 是公开的，透过公开的 address 在这里是处理或者对付的意思，它常常受词就是一个 problem， 你 address a problem 就是处理一个问题，所以我们公开的处理这个食物不见 the missing food 这样的一个问题，透过这样的一个做法呢，我们可以Bring it to everyone's attention. Bring something to someone's attention 就是让某人注意到某事。那在这里就是让 everyone 注意到这件事情。Bring it to everyone's attention. 然后呢 hopefully 希望这样做的话就可以 avoid 避免 similar circumstances 避免类似的情况，所以 circumstances 就是情况或状况 in the future. I have a question. Can you say avoid similar situations in the future?
Yeah, I think it's okay. Circumstances might be a bit better, but it's okay.OK,
好，所以这里呢 circumstances 比较好一点，但是你说 situations 也可以啊。好，所以各位就记得以后避免类似的状况发生，这个中文会这样讲，避免类似的状况发生，但是英文的这里其实不用讲那个发生，你就说避免类似的状况就可以了。这是中文跟英文思考的不太一样的地方。那这篇文章呢，其实很多地方各位可以去思考一下中文跟英文表达的不同。那我建议各位就是你可以从这个中文翻译，你试着写回英文，你就知道你哪个地方会写出那种不是那么道地的英文了。
Good advice. And that's it for today. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.